Woo! Week 13 in the books. Blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Woo! Woo! It's been a crazy ass 13 weeks, my brother.
Hey, it all comes down to this now. Did you do what you were supposed to?
Oh no, Jamaican horns. Is that what I was supposed to do? Hey, welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. I am your host, Bogart Scott Free, here with my esteemed colleague, The Goo. What's happening, Goo?
What it do?
So you made it in all 28 of your leagues except for one, didn't you?
No. You know, there's a couple teams. I think two to be exact. Three. I apologize. Three. Three out of 10. We'll take 70% though.
I was gonna say 70% it's real nice.
Yeah, I mean, with success comes some failures. You know, I don't expect to be perfect, so I'll take 70% and be grateful.
Damn, that's sad. I expect you to be perfect.
I appreciate that. I still strive for that though. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yes. But everyone knows, and the fantasy gods will tell you, playmakers, that no one is perfect. But if we could be made in the fantasy gods' image, I guess that's all we strive for. Jamaican horns. Right out the gate, follow us at the GMM Network. Follow me at Bogart Scott Free World. Follow my esteemed colleague, The Goo, at The Guru 408. Shout out to our sponsor, Milk and Honey. We got a lot to get to. We're going to recap this week 13, talk about some significant injuries. We're going to talk about some things that are noteworthy and and we're moving forward. We're onward. We're getting ready for week 14. Playoff time. Hopefully y'all ain't the second seed in a 14-team league like I am that allows 8 people in the goddamn playoffs, so I don't even get a fucking bye week, but I don't sound ungrateful at all. Jamaican horns.
Yeah, I have been in a league like that too. There's 8 teams in where there's no bye week. So
okay.
I gave up caring about where I finished once I knew I was in there. So
Okay, real quick. Let's touch on that real quick. We're already veering a little bit, but real quick before we get into this recap.
Swerve.
Come on. 14 teams a man's league. When you put 8 motherfuckers in there, now you just have 14 teams that are essentially watered down compared to a 12-team roster construction. You know what I'm saying? Because you're dealing with less. So you got to hit more on the draft and you got to be on your game, with the pickups and whatnot. But come on, dude. Make it 6 teams. I even was telling the commissioner, shout out to Eastside Eric. I'm not hating on by any means at all, but you know what I'm saying? But it was just one of those things. It's everyone's always going to be down for that because they feel like it increases their chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's extra action for sure.
Yeah. But then also it's
it just takes the only downside to that is
there's no bye week.
First or second seed.
Exactly.
No bye.
Because you're whooping ass all year. You're busting your ass. You know what I'm saying? You're making moves like a playmaker should. You know what I'm saying? And then, but you know what though? We ain't scared. I'm just saying,
I don't want to make if I would do that, we can make the top 2 seeds. You get 10 points for your, you know what I mean, for winning.
See,
in your first matchup, you get
you know what I
mean. You get,
and you know what that would do? You know what that would do? People would not like that.
Oh, of course they wouldn't like it.
So then, they would vote.
That's something for being a first or second seed.
But I like that though because that could steady push motherfuckers to be like, you know what? Let's keep it 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But no, it's too weird. It's too out of the box, and people don't like that when it comes to their fantasy football.
Matter of fact, I'm going to 8-5 in this league because I forgot I'm taking an L in this one. I came into this week 8-4, so there is a chance the commissioner who's sitting in a 3rd seed. He was looking pretty good in his matchup. I didn't check it, but if he wins and I actually kind of hope he goes to the 2nd seed, so I could be like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if you had that bye week? You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah, just to prove a fucking goddamn point.
You push it to 16 and put 10 teams in the playoffs. That way there's your buys, and there's a lot of action still, and it's a fucking bloodbath.
How fucking mad are you if you're one of those 6 teams? You're just like, what the fuck? Because you have over
you probably were out of it early.
Over a 60% chance to get in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's. We don't really have to touch on the Thursday. Thanksgiving game. Actually, let's just touch on real quick on the Thanksgiving Day games. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen the Stallion did his thing. You know what I'm saying? And they blew the fuck out of them. David Blau, whoever the fuck he is, he came in. You know what I'm saying? Fucking did his thing. I think you can move. I think you can feel fine with your Kenny Gallaudays and your Marvin Joneses of the world moving forward with him if you have to, because we're not going to see Matt Stafford no more. You know what I mean? You like seeing Trubisky. You know, for the small percentage of playmakers out there, including myself, that are a Trubisky truther, like just someone who believes in the guy as a fantasy asset. You know what I'm saying? Not as a player in reality, but like I said, as a fantasy asset. You know what I mean? I think you wouldn't mind, throwing him out there in these single QB leagues.
Who are we speaking about now?
Trubisky.
Oh, Mitch. Yeah. That was a good matchup for him. He got his 3 touchdowns. It was good. It was good for him.
And he threw for 300.
I'm not as excited about Galladay and Marvin Jones. It seemed that their touchdowns were just a little fluky.
But it was also against the Bears, so anything could be considered fluky against that secondary.
Yeah, Devin Singletary, he looked like he's going to be a nice little factor down the stretch here.
Yep, but then, I think he's never, to me, I agree with what you just said, but to me, he's never going to get out of the low-end RB2 territory, because he's always going to have my boy. And I hope he's your boy now too, playmakers. But how about this, our boy, the white Cam Newton himself, Josh Allen the Stallion. He's calling his own number. Step aside, Devin.
Yeah, 10 for 43 and a
touchdown.
Step
aside, Devin.
He's moving. He takes away full, production for sure. But I still like Singletary. As you said though, in that RB2 value range, I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, not mad at that.
You can roll that out. There's some pretty tough matchups coming up. So yeah, he's not. Oh, he's got Baltimore though. So never mind. We'll get to that later though. But Saints Falcons. What about that matchup? 26-18. Saints win. Bullshit. No Julio.
I expected to win and in that fashion. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I'm saying, the Saints, they're just on a mission, dog. And it was a blip. They needed, it took one of their rivals to come off a bye week and then embarrass them and do that to them early. And that's the worst thing the Falcons could have done to the Saints a couple weeks ago, was beat them up real bad and kind of humble them. You know what I mean? And because then it made them even more killers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, they let him off the hook.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Because I feel like even though that was just Thanksgiving, it feels like that was a fucking, like a fucking eternity ago.
It sure was.
Oh, wait a second. Anthony Miller, too.
Leftovers is gone.
One more thing. Anthony Miller. Yeah, he's actually one of my number one pickups at receiver this week. You know what I'm saying? If he's available, I would put him as priority. You know what I mean? And as long as, just keep monitoring the news of Taylor Gabriel. If he continues to be out, this only just continues to help.
Bears got the Cowboys next week, too, so that's not a
yeah,
bad
and
matchup.
Slot receivers eat. We just, playmakers on the first ever Thanksgiving Day extravaganza episode, we told you guys about Cole Beasley and Anthony Miller and how they were solid plays. And in this case, Anthony Miller is playing that same team that Cole Beasley just got off of in the slot. You know what I mean? So, and that is the Cowboys. So, and it's not.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a short week neither for them, because they both had the full week. So, you know what I mean? This is one of the rare occasions where it's more like the spoiled occasion, because Cowboys, they always have it arranged like that, where it's like, hey man, this is Jerry. We're gonna play Thanksgiving, you know that? But we're also going to need to get the next Thursday. You know what I mean? Because then that gives them the little mini bye. You know what I mean? Like, the Cowboys, Jerry Jones be having them in right positions, but it's like, damn, just have a better team. You know what I mean? Okay, now let's move on.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next games. We're big Niner fans, obviously, but we'll show some love, and lead off with the other team in the Bay Area. And the Chiefs put it on them. Beat the Raiders 40-9.
You wanted to show some love by starting with them. I like that. Let's show them that tough love. My bad. We're talking about the Raiders. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the Chiefs put it on him. It was kind of ugly over there. Derek Carr, he was inefficient. He had 220 yards.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. Yeah. Derek Carr, okay, right now, he only exists in this moment to hand the ball off to Josh Jacobs, because people have Josh Jacobs, and even I, including myself, I love Josh Jacobs in fantasy. He only exists to hand the ball off to that guy and to throw his 4-yard average passes to the Waller, the baller.
He got only 7 for 100. Let's keep him in there. That's all we need.
And we did say that the fantasy death of Hunter Renfrow was gonna all those 5 to 7 targets. They're going right back to the baller. You know what I mean? And
yes, he did. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but
they were playing down from behind too the whole game.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes only threw for $175 in the game though.
It was a really, really windy game. Like there was a play.
Your boy though. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
There was a play where it was like maybe like a 10-yard pass maybe to Travis Kelce, and that ball just sailed. Like the wind was so gusty, it was like it punched the ball and changed the direction. That's how crazy that went. Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes is a gunslinger. He has a cannon on him, so it's like, that's how bad it was. But then also like it almost like the wind existed for Raiders fans to have an excuse for their man Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, it was windy. No. Derek Carr historically is trash, and then you couple that with him being historically trash in KC. You like how you thought I was just gonna say trash in KC, huh?
Hey, your boy Darwin Thompson. Is he? He's on your pickup list this week,
right? Okay. Yes. Obviously, in the landscape. Okay, if we're gonna get to this game, the Monday night game eventually, but because that's who my number one pickup is, Alexander Madison. But also because Darwin Thompson, we don't know the status of. I mean, I know it's a hamstring for the fake Darkwing Duck, Darrell Williams, but we also don't know the status of Damian Williams yet because he should be on a timeline to return. But then he is a running back, so maybe a slack jacket or a flak jacket, whatever the fuck they call it, maybe that might not cut it, having a rib injury. Because, Emmanuel Sanders essentially has the same injury, or Damian Williams has the same kind of cartilage injury that Sanders has. You know what I'm saying? So, but yes, Darwin, and the game was such a fucking blowout. It was like, and like any respectable coach knows that, like, the Raiders are trash. So he's like, you know what? Let's go see what we got with this rookie finally, because we're smashing the shit out of these trash Raiders.
That's straight from Andy Reid, huh?
Yep. I mean, I be having cheeseburgers and ice cream with him all the time, so you know what I mean? These are part of the conversation.
We'll move on to the next game now where, our Niners, we'll get to that now. Our Niners, they didn't get it done out there in Baltimore. It was a great game, though. The ugly weather.
Listen, our kicker didn't get it done. How about that? Both of our losses.
Robbie was not gold. He was bronze out there.
Yeah, I don't like that. How about this? If I'm a young quarterback and I'm on the other side of like greatness, like Tom Brady or something, don't you think you want to step up to the plate and just to swing in the biggest dick you could? You know what I mean? I'm swinging this big dick. I got a big dick too, Brady, right? In this case, it's Justin Tucker. He's arguably the best kicker in the game. If you're Robbie Gold and you got gold in your name, you're like, look it, Justin Tucker. I'll show you. I can make a name for myself, but no, it didn't happen like that. He missed, what was it, 2 crucial field goals?
Only one.
Oh, one.
It says only one. He was 1 of 2.
Yeah, you're right. He missed it though.
What happened with Tevin Coleman, man? Raheem Mostert went wild in this game with the touches. The first drive, it was already. Shanahan, this is what I like about him. I think he diagnosed it really fucking fast. The first drive, Tevin Coleman just wasn't looking good, and then maybe there's something in there like that they're not telling us, that maybe he got hurt or something, because then he was just benched. You know what I mean? And then right, he was done.
You couple that with the fact that Raheem was just working. You know what I mean? It was a classic hot hand approach. You know what I mean?
Well, there was no Breida, and if you're benching him, then it's like you give it Mostert bell cow work, which is great. It's kind of interesting to think going forward. What the fuck are they going to do next week over there with the Saints with that?
Well, I think that's what makes us a great team, is because you really don't know what we're going to do every week. You know what I mean? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. The greatest team, and I don't give a fuck who tries to argue it. is the Patriots. You know what I mean? Just historically, right? And you never know what the fuck they're gonna do every week. And that's just a sign of a good coach. So I'll go with that as my answer for 200.
I might be playing Mostert over Coleman. I wouldn't be against it.
See, now that is
Breida. We don't know about Breida yet.
But I was gonna say that could be irresponsible to say now because we don't know about Breida's status yet.
Right. But Coleman, man, if something, I don't know. He's been kind of slumping a lot. He had his blow-up game, and then it hasn't really done shit since.
And in that blow-up game, he only had 13 touches. But you want to know what the real caveat is about Tevin Coleman? If he wasn't started against me that week, he wouldn't have done shit this whole season.
Comes back to that.
Yes. This is true. Watch when we get to the Miami game. I'll tell you about some of the guys that were started against me in season-long leagues that did their thing. Like,
it was great. On Baltimore side, though, did Mark Ingram get hurt in the other? Because I know I saw Gus Edwards kind of killing the clock there at the end, or like.
Well,
late.
that's it. That's not surprising. Gus Edwards has came in on because they've even as of lately that Rams game on a Monday night, it was Gus Edwards. He comes in to kill the clock. You know what I'm saying? It was again. Then what was it? That Bengals game. It was so out of hand, and the same thing. He comes in, kills the clock. You know what I mean? Like the Mark Ingram thing too was like, when the game was close and they were trying to move fast, they had Justice Hill out there. You know what I mean? Like there you go. That's another one of those things too, bro. It's like maybe they're just a great team, and like you can't predict what a great team's gonna do because, you know what I mean? Like if simple-minded folk like us could figure it out, they're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Let alone a D coordinator who's been planning for a week for them. You know what I mean?
So Ingram wasn't hurt though. He didn't get hurt.
I don't know. I didn't see that. I mean,
nothing like that.
You got anything in front? Is there anything that's telling you that Ingram got hurt?
Actually, yeah. Let me see. I didn't know. I didn't see it. I just saw him on the helmet. Like I didn't see him at the end there, so I was just wondering.
Hollywood Brown, disappointing game. I think it was 1 for 1, or did he get more than one target?
Hollywood?
Yeah, I know he had one reception for 1 yard, but I mean,
2 targets.
Okay, but still makes sense. I mean, it was the matchup. You know what I mean? I mean, I did say this. I was telling this to my girl actually, because what I'm saying, she was like, "Why the fuck did the tight ends keep eating on us?" I'm like, "Well, it's just that system, babe." And for one, with Greg Roman, and two, that's just like Jared Cook could be the X factor going up against us this week, for all we fucking know. You know what I mean?
Yep. And Drew Brees has been looking his way lately.
But you know what's the best is that Jared Cook and Mark Ingram, I put them in the same category. All right, you want to take a shot at it?
No.
It's like
I don't.
The guys that you love it when your opponents have them. Because what does Mark Ingram do? He has like
he produces this year.
Right?
I'm not mad.
No. He does this every year. But what he does is he produces for like 2 weeks straight. Then in a smash spot, like against the Niners, a smash play with bad weather, he does shit for you. Right? Jared Cook's the same way. And I'm saying all this to say because I hope he's the big letdown for them against us, because that's such a Jared Cook thing to do. He's so consistent for the last couple weeks because he's consistently inconsistent in his career. And he's just going to do what he does in his career and let them down in a big spot.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. You've got that to a science.
Oh, yeah.
Straight from the analytics department, as we said.
It's really just my memory and just remembering patterns of things. Like, come on, how many people did Mark Ingram let down this week?
I didn't think it was really a smash spot for him.
Oh, yeah. Running backs eat on us, bro.
In that kind of weather, all expectations get tempered, in my opinion. And you get reduced
not
to
for
just,
me with
just carries.
Yeah.
So
okay,
like
well,
50
at
yards,
least
like that, 60 yards. Ingram, 60 yards, yeah. What do you get? 2 catches.
Total.
So
Yeah.
I'm not that surprised by that, to be honest. It isn't, to me, that wasn't a smash spot in that kind of ugly ass weather where everything is limited and where defenses can just key on it. Even Lamar, like we held the Ravens to 20 points. Like they've been putting up 40 every week, damn near. It was all the weather. It just slowed everything down. Him being able to have that read option and that run and run for that 100 is what really the difference was in the game. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? Bang bang Niner gang.
Bang bang. We'll be back. Don't worry. We'll see what happens next week. Let's look out. I'm gonna move over to the Sunday slate, the early games. Let's see here. The Magic Man. He got it done. Let's go. Let's talk about him, bro. 37-31. They beat the Eagles outright. He threw for what, 365 and 3?
Yo.
Gee.
You know what?
I love that.
You know what, dog? I can see the Magic Man. Check this out, bro. He leaves the facility. You know what he does? He gets all his kids. He puts on his gold chains. He has the chest hair out. He puts the stunners on. He goes, hits the beach with his kids, and he throws the rock. You know what I mean? Like that's that, and you know what? He's not even tripping off. He just he's smiling when he's losing. He's smiling when he's winning. He's the type of dude that played for so many different organizations that
he's just happy he's playing.
Bro, I think he legit has like 7 kids or something like that for real. Where it's like, they've been born in 7 different states because he's played for so many goddamn teams.
Love that. Yeah, he goes out there and slings it after the game.
Fuck
throws
yeah.
more passes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, he got it done, man. Devontae Parker beast. 7 for 159 and 2 touchdowns. You said he's gonna be a league winner.
You know why? He went that hard this week?
The Eagles secondary?
Nope. He was started against me. That's why.
Is that what happened?
Hell yeah.
Like Gesicki ate too. 5 for 80 and a touchdown, basically.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what? That's one that's dope because, it was like the Magic Man, he can always support 2 cast members. You know what I mean? And it was like, we diagnosed as soon as Preston Williams went out, we were like, yo, this could really highlight Gesicki too. Took a while, but the targets were there, and now he's actually catching the ball. So you know what I mean?
Oh yes, but he's feeding Devontae Parker. He's a wide receiver 1 the rest of the way, right?
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, a
fantasy wide receiver 1.
Yes, but see, and here's the thing: is with the amount of volume he gets, he's gonna, it's good volume because this guy just, it's good volume because it's the Magic Man knows where to put the ball for his big receivers. You know what I mean? He knows how to ball placement. So it's if you're
letting him throw it 40 times a game.
Yes, and if you're getting double-digit targets, that means you have double-digit opportunities to get a touchdown. And in this case, he had 2 of them. You know what I mean? And that's Devontae Parker. You know what's funny too? Devontae Parker finally went over 60% owned this week. It's it took that.
Crazy.
I know, right? And you know what, dog? Wild. You know who owns Devontae Parker? The Magic Man. You know what I mean?
He definitely does.
Oh yeah.
On the other side of the ball, though, let's see. Your Philly, they put up some numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz threw 3, and he had 300 yards. Alshon, he had a big night. 9 for 137. Mm-hmm. Zach Ertz was a ghost out there, but Goddard 6 for 66.
But here's the thing: is Zach Ertz had 2 touchdown passes that he dropped. So, and as a fantasy quote unquote analyst, those are important to see. Okay, he's still getting the red zone targets, the pay dirt targets. You know what I mean? Just if you're a Zach Ertz owner, you know what I mean? But also if you're a Dallas Goedert owner, you love it, regardless, because even with Ertz there still, you know what I mean? He still played the same amount of snaps as Ertz, and he still got basically the same amount of targets, right? How many targets?
Yeah, he got 7 to Ertz's 6.
Yep, see?
Doubled his production up too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a change in the guard there coming soon. Miles Sanders, he might be establishing himself too. Jay Jaw, they obviously don't trust him yet. Jordan Howard, we don't really know anything really. How close? Do you know if he's close to playing in this?
He has a stinger. He has a stinger. So, here's the thing is with stingers too is like, you can't really grade them. You have a stinger, it's bad. You know what I mean? And if it's super bad, then it's surgery. You need surgery. You know what I mean? So the fact that he doesn't have surgery, you know what I mean? But still, a stinger is also like it'll also pinch a nerve. So in this case, it's a stinger in his shoulder. So you know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't even been cleared for contact. The moment he gets cleared for but he's been practicing though. You know what I'm saying? But, doing single drills and shit like that. But the moment he gets cleared for contact, then it's like, it kind of throws the Miles Sanders thing out the window. But it is good to see that in a matchup where it's like, okay, because I rolled out Miles Sanders in a few spots, and it was like, this is that one. And I put him in DraftKings lineups, but it was like, this is that one. This is that matchup. You know what I mean? This is smart coach, in my opinion, with Doug Peterson. Or Doug, is it Peterson? Yeah. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, okay, we could run on this team. We could run on this defense. So they did as such. And it was nice to, right out the gate. I want to say it was a wheel route. I can't remember now because I was pretty drunk already early in the morning. But, the first drive, the Magic Man turns it over because, come on now, he's a member of the Pick Six Club. This wasn't a Pick Six, but it was close enough. It got ran back close enough where he's like, oh, they finna punch this in, and I'm out there, boy. Because tell me I lied, though.
And it's time to get to slanging.
Right? And he went out there and got to slanging. He was like, all right, Parker. He was like,
yes.
I hope you...
I love him next week, and Jamal Adams might be out, which is great for that matchup, so... I love some Fitzmagic.
Well, yeah.
To the week 14, week 15, 14. Your first round of the playoffs, man.
Oh yeah.
I'll roll with him because he is fantasy gold right now. He's doing it. It's not a sexy name. It's not a sexy team.
Oh,
it's the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm.
Beg to disagree with not a sexy name. He's the Magic Man. What's hold on, Jamaicans?
Yes.
Jamaicans they're fucking flabbergasted. And there be a shitload of Jamaicans in Miami. Oh, actually more so Haitians. But either way, the Jamaicans that are out there in Florida, they love the Magic Man. Jamaicans.
Oh shit! All right, let's see. We're gonna move to the next game here. What do we want to talk about? How about the Packers? They beat the Giants 31-13. What do you got? Anything catch your eye in that game other than Aaron Rodgers doing what he does?
Real quick, in that other game, I forgot to say Gesicki. He's readily available. You need a tight end. Go grab his ass up. You know what I'm saying?
I think here's a common theme. If we talk him up and we like a guy, he's out there. Go try to grab him.
Yeah, because we don't just talk about guys that aren't playmakers. You know what I mean?
We try to talk about the people that matter.
And you know what's crazy is that we usually talk about guys early enough where, like, by this time when it's actually happening, like a Gesicki's happening right now. And we've been saying it for, like, the last, since Preston Williams went down. Like, this is a possibility. Just simple fantasy math. You know what I mean? And now we're seeing it. Okay, so now in this game, what game were we on again?
Packers-Giants.
Packers and Giants, yeah. Man, I love
Aaron Jones. He flopped.
You know what's crazy, dog? This is who's it's like they're cousins, Matt LaFleur and Adam Gase, because they're just like, oh yeah, he's our best guy, isn't he? You know what? But you know who I really like? I like that second guy. You know what I mean? Like, they know they're the best out of the two options, and it's like, and Aaron Rodgers, like, openly, like, says how much he fucks with Aaron Jones. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Like plays with, messes around with them?
Listen, when Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, they were both in the same draft class, right? They were both rookies the same year. And
yes.
Jamal Williams was the more complete back. He could catch the ball, he could run the ball, and he was great at pass protecting coming out of college. Right, and during this time, we're coming off the failed Eddie Lacy experiment, right? And it was mainly because that offensive line in Green Bay for years was more so geared around pass protecting. So them drafting Jamal Williams, I remember I was on him. I was like, oh, Jamal Williams is going to be that guy over there. Watch this. And then people were like, nah, man, Ty Montgomery. I'm like, he's a fucking receiver converted to a fucking running back. And he has fucking sickle cell. I'm like, trust me, Jamal Williams. And then I remember seeing a blurb where it was Aaron Rodgers talking about the backfield. And he's like, yeah, I love Ty Montgomery. You know, he really stepped up last season when we needed him. We had no running backs. He converted to running back, blah, blah, blah. You know, this kid, Jamal Williams, we're excited to have him. He's great at pass protecting. And, I like that. This is like Aaron Rodgers verbatim. But then he goes, but this Aaron Jones kid, I'm telling you, watch out for this kid. He kept from the gate just advocating for him. You know what I mean? And it's like,
interesting.
I'm serious. So I was immediately on him. Just everywhere I was at, I was like, I was the guy holding on to Aaron Jones all year, 2017. And then he got his opportunity, and then he sprained the MCL, remember? And then it was like, fuck. But it was like the funnest 3 weeks because I was like, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they're a complete 50-50 timeshare now there.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. When Jamal Williams is on the field, they're going to him. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Jones is on the field just as much, if more, if that.
So the snap count is still higher for Aaron Jones.
Yeah, they're closer this time around, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Your boy Lazard, 3 for $103 with a touchdown.
I almost didn't want to say his name because I kind of want to. I want to hide him. Is what I'm trying to say. Because
we're here to help the playmakers.
Yeah, I know. Of course, we're going to talk about Alan Lazard. Come on, he has first of all one hell of a name, 6'5", 230, something like that, 240. He's a big boy. I mean, maybe 240 is putting too much on it, but he is 6'5", over 2 bills. You know what I mean? Because anyways, 6'5", not 2 bills would be like, what the fuck? Play basketball. You know what I mean? But then anyways, This motherfucker. I mean, like. I'm telling you, I kept highlighting him the past couple weeks. I wasn't saying start him, but I was saying pick him up for these 2 weeks right here. The game against the Giants and now against the Redskins. Because Aaron Rodgers doesn't put it past me that, the Redskins, we could run on them. Let's just run all over them. He's going to be like, I'm fucking Aaron Rodgers, you son of bitches. Because he's like, he has to shit on the bad defenses. This is his bag. Look started with the Oakland game. Oakland,
and I mean it was snowing as fuck out there too. So I think it
reminded
hard to run in those kind of matchups.
Yeah, or it reminded him of home of Green Bay. Like, hey, look at this snow. You know what I mean? Hey, we're really good at home. 4 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he was on fire. He did his thing. What about the Giants, man? Anything over there? Saquon, he's still kind of just struggling a little bit. He did get a few receptions. Sterling Shepard got a touchdown. Who is this Kate Smith guy? What the fuck is his name?
Okay.
Caden Smith.
Caden Smith.
Is that Caden Smith? That's our
Hold
Caden
on.
Smith, isn't it?
Get his name right. Yes,
Caden Smith.
Oh, yeah. It's our guy. Stanford.
Motherfuckers. I knew we should have kept him.
Here's the thing. Don't never disrespect the name of Ross Dwelly again. We should have kept him.
That's who I am really taking a shot at there.
Yeah, I know.
Toy Lolo, I could have lived without Toy Lolo.
No, but Toy Lolo's a system guy. He's been with them before.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. He's a 1-year guy. Caden Smith is a long-term guy.
Yeah, because Evan Ingram, and this is a system that they run a lot of 2 tight end sets because they're trying to run the ball a lot. So they're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. And in this case, you know what I'm saying? Plus it's the system. They're gonna throw to Evan Ingram. It's not him. They're gonna go to Red Ellison.
Evan Ingram's out though.
No, I know, but I'm saying.
Okay.
And if it wasn't him, they're gonna throw to Red Ellison. If it's not him, they're going to Caden Smith. And they're playing against the Eagles, who Mike Gesicki just got off on. So he might be a nice little option. If you can't get you a Mike Gesicki and you're looking for a tight end, I 100% guarantee Caden Smith is gonna be there for you.
Oh, absolutely. Is Evan Ingram, is he going to be out? Sure. Is he that hurt?
Hold on. Hey, Siri, call Evan Ingram.
I don't see it.
Oh, that's right. I don't know him. Yeah, you know what? I'm not aware of his injury. What's his injuries? I was just fucking around right there.
I have no idea. I think I want to say it was concussion.
You know why we don't know? Because it's Caden Smith time. Yeah.
We'll roll with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Anything else noteworthy in that game?
Lazard is a
pickup-wise?
pickup. Lazard's a pickup. I mean, especially in deeper leagues. Like, you know what I mean? Like, pick that man up.
Yeah, Golden Tate should be back. So the Slayton Shepherd should be out, come back a little bit to earth. But all right, let's see. What's the next game here? Let's get hit. Let's hit Titans Colts. Titans get it done 31-17. They're red hot right now. You should fear the Titans, especially if you see them on the schedule. You should fear the Titans.
You should always.
They're running that rock right now with Derrick Henry.
You should always fear a man possessed. In this case, Ryan Tannehill is possessed by big dreams, not visions of grandeur, because he legitimately could get extended and keep this job, and they can cut ties with Mariota because they have the option to pick up the 5th year. Is that this coming up, right? And they're not going to exercise that option. Mariota's going to have fun being a backup somewhere. You know what I mean? He'll probably...
he's gone. Yeah, I can see them giving him one more year, especially if he rolls them into the playoffs.
Or...
Like, why not?
Or the early 2020 offseason bold call. You want to hear it?
Call it.
Ryan Tannehill goes to the Las Vegas Raiders and then unseats Derek Carr eventually. Same way he did it to Tannehill. Hey, Raider fans secretly like hearing that idea. They're like, wow, yeah, you're right.
I think they're going to get a good look at him next week.
I was going to get there. I was going there. He's gonna kick their ass.
Yeah, as for the game before, Derrick Henry, he was the superstar of that game. The Colts, man, they're kind of a mess right now. And Jamal Williams, is that his name? No, Jonathan Williams.
Yep.
That kind of faded back. Jordan Wilkins was involved.
Yep, and Jordan Wilkins, 11 for 40 something. You know what I mean? Fucking what's his name? 8 for 14. Like, you know what I mean? Like Jonathan Williams. And see, here's the thing with that. I still was firmly on the side of, when Jordan Wilkins comes, like, it was a short week. Jonathan Williams went off on that Sunday. The short week comes around that Thursday. He goes off on the Texans. And then people are like, oh, Jonathan. People that had Jonathan Williams, they were patting themselves on the back. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to reserve my opinion until Jordan Wilkins' health. And then, we've seen it. Now it's like and then there's the chance of Marlon Mack actually coming back.
This week?
Yeah, there's a chance. He said that they actually came out and said that there's a chance he comes back this week. You might be in a real running back conundrum of a plethora of wealth, of riches. What's the saying go?
For who?
For you in the Eastside League. Like if Marlon Mack comes back, because now you're gonna have to decide between all these dope running backs.
No, I don't even have Marlon Mack.
Oh, you don't anymore?
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, okay.
I have the whole. I traded him when I got.
That's right, when you got Wilson.
I have the whole Pittsburgh backfield in that team, in that league.
Yeah.
No, I don't have him, but I still, I got a lottery ticket that might have hit. You know what I mean? Knock on wood.
We'll get to that.
We'll see there.
I almost want you to talk about it as little as possible, because whenever you talk about these guys, they come back from the dead.
No, I told you Dalvin Cook was done. Let's say his damn name. He was done. 46,
and then
sprained AC joint.
And then he came back and sat there, and if he was done, he wouldn't have came back out. And I was like, oh man.
I was like, what are you doing, bro? But he didn't look like he was ready to play. He looked defeated.
Oh, for sure. And you did make a good point. It was like he was out there for moral support. Because then it's like, just for the team that's on the field, like, you don't want them like, damn, we lost Cook. He comes out there, you're like, okay, he's here. You know what I mean? So I get that. You know what I mean? But
so it might not be. It didn't look good though. A shoulder, you pop that shoulder right, you might be. That's what James Conner's kind of going through, isn't he?
He popped the shoulder like Tommy, or like Tommy did in Best of the Best. Do you know that movie?
I've seen that. I don't know that.
Ah, okay, never mind.
My bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Such a good reference.
Let's see here. All right, so Zach Pascal and Jack Doyle though they were just all the offense over there.
it's a concentration of targets now, where the talent is all. It's not that there's. First of all, it's no talent.
Eric Ebron was out, I guess, huh?
Yeah, he's on IR, and
Oh, he's on the out. Wow.
yeah, and then
I missed that
Hilton.
part.
They're not gonna rush Hilton back. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, if Jack Doyle is available, he's the number one tight end pickup this week.
Yeah, but both of those guys. Because if Hilton's out again, that's their 1-2 punch basically now.
And
So
who are the Colts playing? They're playing the Bucks.
I think they're playing the Bucks. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So and you could throw it on them. So
Yeah, and the Bucks, they do have a pass rush that exists, and it's going to be hard to get at the quarterback against that line. So there's going to be a lot of time for Jacoby Brissett to pick them apart. And they're the bottom. They're a bottom 3 team against the tight end. So Jack Doyle's a solid play. You know what I mean? Zach Pasquale.
oh yeah, with that amount of volume too. They're kind of like strong RB2s. Tight end 1 for Jack Doyle.
Yeah, and ever
tight end
since Watson went off on the Colts on that Thursday night, it snapped the average 18 points to a fantasy to opposing QBs that play the Colts, right? So, Tannehill, I mean, because he's a man possessed, but he came out, you know what I mean? He put up some numbers against them too. Way, I think like 20-something in fantasy, depending on scoring format, but definitely more than 18. So hopefully Infamous can keep that up, and then, you know what I mean, and just keep it a game in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right, so speaking of Infamous, then let's go to that game. Whereas a lot of juice in that game, your boy Gardner Minshew got back in there. It was an ugly game. Stat line for Jameis.
You know why Nick
he's
Foles
back
was
in
playing
for the rest
so
of the
bad?
year. Huh?
You know why Nick Foles was playing so bad? Because
Slag on the sideline.
because Minshew, right? Nick Foles came home one day. Minshew was at his house, man. He was at his house, and
The living room.
in the living room. You know what I
With
mean?
his shoes on.
Well, yeah, and nothing had happened apparently, but it was just letting him know, man. Hey, I could take anything that's yours at any given moment. You know what I mean? And his wife comes in. So Gardner, did you want 2 lumps of sugar for your coffee? He's like, no. I'm actually gonna pass on the coffee.
I'm headed out.
Yeah, I'm heading out. And then,
he came in. He stole that gig. He's back in there at the helm.
the Ginsu. I
Take all
knew.
that money.
I knew we were gonna talk about the Ginsu at least one more time this season. Oh, if in a super flex league, I would pick him up just to keep him away if you're not gonna use him. But hey, you might.
Yeah, I mean, he should be pretty easy to grab in most leagues because not so many people are starved for quarterbacks. But are you rolling him out next week?
Who are they playing?
Let me see here. They are at. Let me see. The Chargers at home.
You know what? That's a good. That's a game. Screams everyone eats except for like. Actually, everyone's eating on the Chargers.
Chargers are getting
Everyone's
Derwin
eating.
James back though. I didn't know that.
What happened?
The Chargers are getting Derwin James back.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's right. Okay, that kind of changes things in a sense. But it's also like a team, man. They're just like the Jags are going to be able to tee off. I mean, okay, this could be a really low-scoring game just because the Jags are going to be too busy trying to tee off on Rivers, and they're just going to keep dumping it off and then gashing them with the running backs. You know what I mean? On the ground and through the air. Anyways, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, your boy Leonard Fournette, 9 receptions. I don't know what world I'm living in. I think he had like 9 receptions last year, right?
No. He had like 30 last season. Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The season before where he played like 14 games or what was it, 15 out of 16 or whatever it was. He had like, but this season I had him going for at least 50 receptions, and I think he's already topped that.
Yeah, no, he's got. Let me see. Yeah, he's doing. I mean, he's getting his money no matter what. But it's ugly over there for them.
But also with the Ginsu, that just means more checkdowns to the running back because they don't really have a tight end that they could speak of. You know what I mean? So all those dump offs. The hot read has been Fournette. And which again too, I forgot to mention this about Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry and Leonard Fournette, they're steady the mid round or the late early round gems. You know what I mean? Of this year's fantasy drafts.
Yeah, no, Fournette's been money in the bank. Oh, let's see, on Tampa side though, your boy Infamous, he had no turn, one fumble, no touchdown.
He was just famous.
It wasn't. He held it down. Brashad Perryman was the number one receiver over there. I'm sure everyone had Evans and Godwin in their FanDuels and DraftKings, and Brashad Perryman. OJ Howard showed up. Apparently he's still breathing. He got 5 for 61. So weird game over there for them. I don't know anything to take away going forward.
A lot of that game is self-explanatory if you think about it, because Jaguars defense, right? You had Boye, and he was on. He was on Godwin a lot of the times, right? And then they would double Mike Evans and triple him even. And then the wide open guy with man coverage most of the game was Perriman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then you couple that with the fact that they're just always gashed by the tight end. You know what I mean? Even when they had Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell and what's his name? Darceri what is it? Darius, or what is his name? Fuck. One of their best. We're on the Jags. Either way, I was just talking about Jaguars personnel. Like they on defense, it's not uncharacteristic for them to give up yards to the tight end. So that's why, because OJ Howard, he needs to either be playing one of those teams that you could beat with the tight end, or he needs to be playing Arizona, and that's it.
There it is. All right. Well, is he worth a pickup for you going forward? Yeah.
No.
Hell no. Okay, good. Just wanted you to say it there. Let's see. Let's move on. Jets, Bengals. Your boy, the Green Bean. He got his 7 for 100.
He got his buck.
You know what I mean?
The Green Bean.
Not much else for the Jets over there. Andy Dalton. They threw him in there. They got their win that they were looking for.
The Green Bean. My bad. I had to find the Jamaicans.
Andy Dalton throwing that ball around. Tyler Boyd, he's back on the map. 5 for 59 with a touch. What do you think? Anything there?
I think it's kind of funny. Like, you got the number one spot now. So it's like, okay, let's go get a moral victory by getting an actual victory with Andy Dalton. And also this is doing him a solid where it's like, hey man, just go audition for the rest of the league the rest of the way, because they're clearly going to draft their quarterback, because they already went and saw what they got with Ryan Finley. Ryan Finley will just be like the CJ Beathard to that team, where it's like, he'll just always be the backup. You know what I mean? They got to look at him and they're like, okay, you're the backup. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He ain't going to last long.
No.
All right, so that's bullshit there. We don't need to spend much time there. Let's see, Browns Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy, the Duck Hunter, got it done. 2013, James Washington, he had the 100 yards and a touchdown there. Mm-hmm. Benny Snell punched one in. Benny the Snail, he punched one in.
Yep. He was out-snapped.
Nick Chubb guy. Nick Chubb, bro.
Yep.
What happened there? Kareem Hunt's just...
No. It's easy. It was the matchup.
Just...
Like,
the whole
okay.
team was just shit that game.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing too, is and then you had Landry, you know what I'm saying? He was working, so it's like, right? Nick Chubb wasn't really working. It was just a case of that, where it's like, and it's a bad matchup on the ground between running through the tackles, or between the tackles. That was tough. You know what I'm saying? And Kareem Hunt was just like, he was more explosive. He looked better. You know what I mean? I think it was just one of those outliers to me. I mean, they're playing against the Bengals this week. So in week 14 where Nick Chubb owners, they need him. We like him that coming off a bad game. It's like, just in general, don't you like your guy the snap count was still there. You know what I'm saying? Plus the Kareem Hunt thing is just something that we have to expect. You know what I mean? He's too good of a player for them not to like. And the game script was, it was an ugly game where they were playing from behind, like a lot of that game.
Yeah, they put up the first 10 and then they they didn't score again,
Yep.
something like that. So to the next 20, I think Pittsburgh scored. But yeah, it was an ugly game there. I mean, is there anything, any takeaways going forward? Any pickups you got on this one? Either team?
No.
OBJ, he's trash.
I think OBJ, it's just Landry is just always going to benefit because OBJ is going to take away top coverage, and Baker's just more comfortable with him. You know what I mean? And it's the matchup too. The Steelers defense kept them in that game, got them in good positions, and Duck just didn't have to fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he did it. He was the spark they needed. So I don't know. They're in the playoffs as of now, which is crazy.
But
they have no quarterback. Mike Tomlin's getting it done.
They don't have no James. They're doing it without Big Ben. They're doing it without Connor and without Big Jew. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, they're a good team, well coached team. I like the Steelers. I always have.
I love
like
Mike
brand.
Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is gonna take the Redskins to the playoffs next season.
All right, the Redskins, they got it done. 29-21. They outright beat the Panthers over there. Kept CMC in check. He didn't have the big CMC game. He did get the receptions and the yardage there. He had like a floor 14, but yeah, they DJ Moore. He had a big game for them, but. Darius Geis, 129 and two touchdowns on what 10 carries there. He had a couple receptions too, but crazy effective. Even AP 99 yards and a touchdown.
If I wanted to nitpick, you know what I'm saying, you could say he got 60 of his 120 yards in one play. Geis did, you know what I mean? But
of course,
this is a team that we already established this before, where this is the mindset of that team is run the ball. You know what I mean? And they play like it's a one-score game no matter what, even in blowouts. Like when they're getting blown out, they're still trying to run the ball. You know what I mean? They actually had all three running backs involved. Chris Thompson was out there in some goal line packages. But I like seeing that with Geis. I mean, because I'm still gonna put Geis in the category. Lower in the category, but in the category nevertheless of someone who could potentially be one of those flex guys that is part of a championship team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you ride that hot hand. You never know. He's showing it, so they're gonna want, like you said, they want to keep him involved. So I ain't mad. If he's out there, yeah, you put it in claim it for the.
Yeah.
What do we call him, guys? We haven't even forgot the name.
No. I don't know. I was calling. I've been called, the poltergeist. Shit, he looked like he was possessed. I also like the Geist Man, like Andrew Dice Clay.
Okay.
The Geist Man, but then that one's. I like the poltergeist. The poltergeist is the one.
There it is. What about let's see? Anybody catching the ball over there? Nope, just those Darius guys. Let's see. Curtis Samuel, he got a touchdown. I'm not mad at him. So, all right, well, let's get off that game. Nothing there. The Rams. Rams put the dogs on the Cardinals, 34-7. Your boy Cooper Kupp, he got back in the touchdown column. You know what I mean? Tyler Higbee, Robert Woods, everyone ate over there. Todd Gurley, Jared Goff. I mean, man, it was just a get-right game, right?
You're damn right it was.
On all fronts. Arizona's trash. I don't know. Anything worth talking about there? No.
David Johnson, droppable. Maybe he's potentially
oh, shit, droppable.
Yes, just fucking cut his ass. Let someone else pick him up and fuck their shit up.
That's crazy what just happened.
I know, dog.
He's
but
not a system guy.
It has to be said.
It's not a system guy, though.
He's not a system fit, you mean?
For them, yes. Except for that, what Cliff Kingsbury's got going on over there. For that system, no.
And
Kenyon Drake, they love Kenyon Drake.
And Chase Edmonds, he was active for this game. Didn't really get. He didn't get a touch. So
I don't see him in the stat in the
yeah.
stat
So,
box
but I point this out because it's like, what did David Johnson do?
4 carries for 15 yards.
See,
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. He can't be really hurt because it's like he's getting carries, but they're done with him. They're just keeping him on the low.
He's hurting, all right. Hurting people's rosters. Drop him. Let someone else hurt them. I would. if playmakers, if you manage to get into the dance, and in spite of being a DJ owner, you should cut him and let someone else deal with that shit. Because let someone else be like, because you know what DJ is? DJ is a great memory for people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, it was fun to pick him. He probably fell to you in the late rounds. It'd be like late second round or something.
And you're just trying to chase what a different regime did with him with a better offensive line. Like they had a good offensive line when they had Carson Palmer. They had like Upati and they had is it Rooker or whatever the fuck his name. They had guys though. That's what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. They had guys. Okay. And they
all
don't.
Right, so but as for the Rams in this game, obviously everyone feasted. You're going to temper your expectations a little bit, but what? Tyler Higbee, you picking him up if Jalen Hurts, he's going to be out again, right?
No, I mean, do they have Arizona on the docket next week?
Nope, they're going to play Seattle.
Well, okay, if that's the case, because I mean that is the case. I mean, it's Higbee might not be a bad play if you're in a bind. But this is also solely based on if Everett is out again. And Everett has multiple injuries. We're talking about like wrist and knee and ankle, and he's all beat up. You know what I mean? But I say this to say because tonight on the Monday night game, we just saw the Seahawks, give up receptions and a touchdown reception also to tight ends. So.
Yeah, there might be something there. That's why I was not mad at that, especially if Everett's out too, like you said. So, all right, let's see. Chargers, Broncos. Broncos beat the Chargers.
Oh, hold on real quick. Fun fact by Higbee. Because on a different podcast, someone brought this up. They said Higbee had 100 yards that game, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the past, in his career, I think he has something like 300 yards total. Something like that. So it's like, this kind of...
Yeah, he's had like 2 games in his career, really, where he got all that. Otherwise, it's like a bunch of 10, 20-yard games.
Exactly. So it's like, that screams outlier. I mean, it was the matchup coupled with no Everett. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. All right. So as for San Diego, Denver, what is your 2 cents on that?
You know what's crazy is here's my... It was fun watching Drew Lock. You know what I mean? I like watching these young quarterbacks, especially when they come in and they get their first W in their first start. You know what I mean? Because that's such a good omen. You know what I mean? But then also, it also you could remember Marcus Mariota in his debut, and then now you see where his career is at. So it's like, you know what I mean? Maybe that's not a good omen. But this is just something you got to expect to see from the Chargers. Hopefully Derwin James can come back because he was a cornerstone piece of that defense, I don't think either of those teams are mathematically eliminated by any means right now. Are they? I don't think so.
I think San Diego might be, or San Diego, the Chargers might be.
Oh yeah, you're right. After this loss.
Let me see. What are they? What are they right now? Like 4-8? Yeah. So they're pretty much out. Denver's 4-8 as well. So yeah, I think they're pretty much done there.
Hold on 1 second. Hold it down. Steamboat.
Yes, sir. What happened to you? The infamous bathroom break? He ran off. So, all right. So let's see. Keenan Allen, he came through. He got a touchdown with 68 yards on 6 catches.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, the buck 17 on 5 catches. They were throwing the ball around Melvin Gordon. He got his 99 yards there. 110 total with the reception. Yeah.
Okay. Here's one thing. No one should be worried about the Keenan Allens and the Melvin Gordons. I mean, moving forward, maybe even I wouldn't even worry so much about the Austin Ecklers but this team should be. Even though they're getting Derwin James back, I still think that this is a team that's going to be playing from behind a ton.
And they got nothing to play for either, which is great.
Oh yeah, so
just for
so they'll be out there. They're not exactly they're going to be available for the games, barring any injuries, obviously. On the other side, Cortland Sutton, bro, he just shows me something every week, man.
Yeah, he's
all on Casey Hayward the whole game. and he did his thing. With
I've seen him do. Game for him, basically.
We've seen him do this with the likes of Flacco and Brandon Allen, and now Drew Lock. You know what I mean? And that could be a connection we see. For a while. You know what I mean? If Drew Lock pans out and they don't.
Might be some hype on that going into next year for sure. Cortland Sutton, he'll be one of those guys that he'll be like in that 5th, 6th round. I can already tell you right now. Where he's like, oh shit, are you going to take him that early?
But you know what? For a number one, for a number one on a team where where it's essentially a Kyle Shanahan rip-off system. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be some fantasy viable receiving options. Like, Noah Fant is obviously going to be one of those guys that like could be like a 10th round tight end pickup next year. You know what I mean? That could potentially pan out. You know what I mean? Like, there's always some gems we can find in these garbage teams as long as there's a good coordinator in place with the right personnel. You know what I mean? But my takeaways from this game is I'm excited. I'm excited for Vic Fangio because I'm a fan of him. Obviously, I'm excited for him next season. You know what I mean? I think there's going to be a lot of guys that play with him in Chicago that are going to be free agents. There's going to be guys that are going to want to come play for him in Denver. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be able to keep he's going to continue to build that defense in his likeness. And you know what I mean?
All right, well, you know what? When he does that, then we'll talk about him more next year.
Yeah.
As for now, though, we're going to move to the Sunday night game. The Texans, man, they showed up. They beat the struggling Patriots. Now the struggling Patriots, 28-22. I mean, Deshaun Watson, he did his thing. Tom Brady, he filled up the stat sheet in the end. But I mean,
yep, garbage time.
What was the vibe of that game?
You know what? I mean, we've discussed this on numerous occasions about how I think Romeo Crennel is old and senile. You know what I mean? And his crazy old ass came up with a game plan that actually worked out because I think this is like the second time that the Texans as an organization have beat the Patriots because I think they've been around as long as Brady's been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah. So this is just
they came back and just about right. I think they may be around a little bit longer. Close though.
Oh yeah, but still though, okay. How about this? Before that, they were getting beat up by Drew Bledsoe. So it's like, but still in the Tom Brady era, I don't think he's ever lost to the Texans
until Deshaun Watson came around, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I remember he beat him. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. But yeah, no, they
oh yeah, the Texans have beat him. So this is the second time Watson's beat them, right? Because I think he did beat him.
I want to say no. He might have just balled out against them and lost. But actually, I think it was a shootout that they lost.
That's right.
I think correctly.
You're right. This was the first. It's a big win for Watson.
Yeah, and it kind of bumps them into the driver's seat too for their division too. So.
Oh yeah.
The Patriots, though, I mean, anything to take away there? What's going on with them?
Man, well, I think it's official now because I think there was a certain deadline, but Gronk's he's not coming back.
Right.
Yeah, because just to put an end to all that. You know what I mean? That's one thing I was never suggesting to any of the playmakers.
It was a fun story to talk about. I guess,
yeah, but come on, me and you, it wasn't like we were going out and suggesting playmakers to go and pick up Gronk. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think we did that.
Because there was little to no validity at all to that, and you knew it. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? But I bring this up to say because that's what the fuck they need. They're missing Gronk. They're probably feeling. They're feeling
looks
really.
Like James White finally showed up.
Oh yeah, and you know what's the best about that is because in a game where you're like they started off with more James White. They were attempting some Sony Michel early, but then it was just like, they got
he's done. Sony Michel's done.
I don't want to say he's done. Okay, how about this? Do you remember we were on live one time this year? This is probably like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and then someone was like, David
Montgomery.
Yeah, rest of the way. And I was like firmly behind David Montgomery. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't, take victory laps for myself as much as I would that.
You won that one.
No,
Sure.
but the fact that I hope that person that was asking that question actually went with that. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, he chose one or the other.
Yes, and I hope he chose the Montgomery side because just it's just great to be able to help motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
We love y'all playmakers.
Absolutely, all the loyal ones. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to just take all this knowledge that we have for no damn good reason and share it with you. You know what I mean?
You want to know what this tells me about James White, though? Even though it was all in garbage time, or not all of it, but a lot of it, right? This is what tells me about James White is that they're a smart enough team where they're like, they realize, okay, we just need to use our best players that we have. And James White is easily better than Sony Michel. Like in that system, because Sony Michel, his ceiling is LeGarrette Blount.
Yes, you know what I mean. Yes, it's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, and like PPR, which should be the only style of fantasy y'all playmakers. Not hating on any standard truthers, or non-PPR truthers, whatever you want to call them. But I'm saying James White is the better guy because you should be playing in PPR. And I think moving forward, they're aware this is one of their only good weapons and they got to use them more.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I thought that was the whole thing going into the year that he was going to be more heavily involved. But now
all right, let's get to this Monday nighter.
Yeah, Monday night, man. The fucking Seahawks move into number 1 in the NFC by beating the fucking Vikings 37-30 in a hell of a game. Like we said, kind of hinted Dalvin Cook. Game with an injury there.
Dalvin
Penny and Chris Carson, they both had days. You know what I mean? Big games. Kirk Cousins, he threw it around. He had a nice game, but other than that, it was ugly.
Okay, check this out. You want to know what the biggest takeaway for me being a proud Chris Carson owner, the Muscle Mountain himself? You know what was the best takeaway?
They kept beating that rock to him.
But when?
At the end there.
Exactly. In the time where he'd been fumbling and they're like, okay, but it's just that's where Pete Carroll, that's how he fixes little problems that a person might have with their own confidence. Like Chris Carson could, even though he's the muscle man, he still could be a little, he could be gentle. You know what I mean? And he could be sensitive. And you know what I mean? All those fumbles and, everyone's telling him, it's cool, man, it's cool. But, that's how you fix someone's confidence. You when the game is on, when you need to just get, chew clock at the same time, get these first downs at the same time, get into field goal range to further secure it, right? It was Chris Carson.
Yeah, no, it was. Rashad Penny was heavily involved too, and looked like the better running back.
But there's a caveat. They were playing from behind most of that game.
Who was? Minnesota was.
No, the first half pretty much they were tied, right? Then they pulled away and then went into the half. It was what, 17-10?
Yeah.
Right? Then the third quarter, they quickly tie it up, but then the Vikings, they go on and beat their ass with another, however many unanswered points. You know what I mean? They pretty much owned my bad. The Seahawks pretty much owned them. You're right. They only played from behind pretty much that first half. You're right.
Yeah,
I retracted because I forgot they beat.
Not really playing from behind.
Yeah. But okay, I'm trying to find ways where it's just that's why Rashad Penny was in there. But you know what though?
From the jump, and especially when they got up, and they got up so big. It's better for that running back system. They really ran the ball. They ran it more than they passed it. Of course, what's the number there? Let me see. 33, 42 runs to 31 passes. So that's what Seattle wants to do. And if that's what they
70.
Get to do,
here's the one thing.
Both of those guys
70
are be
plays.
Producing.
But they're rarely ever gonna run 70 plays on offense in a game. They average something 50 to 55 plays on offense. You know what I mean? I think the last time they ran 70 plays on offense was that overtime thriller against the Bucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough there. I'm not mad at that, but it's still, though, they want to run that ball, bro. They want to run that ball. That's what I'm saying. But it was nice to see Carson still be able to have a big game and Penny have a big game at the same time.
Yeah, because I would love that. I mean, you know what that would be? That would be what our best case scenario was going into the year. We were.
It came at the expense of Tyler Lockett, though.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy is that you know why I don't feel a way about that, because Tyler Lockett, to me, after this season, seeing it, you know, because I was really big on him going into the season, but not big enough where I had any shares of him where I was willing to pay a 5th round draft capital, because I was always getting someone like Cooper Kupp instead, right? Mm-hmm. But like, to me, Tyler Lockett is just an extension of Russell Wilson's fantasy production. That's it. Same thing with DK Metcalf, all the receivers. You know what I mean? You have to expect this every week, that like, you know, these guys might only get 4 targets at most individually. Especially if someone like Penny's going to be in the mix, because Penny's good in the passing game. So it's like, you know what I mean? And then, you know, Penny's going to be good for those 4 targets. And on a team that might only throw the ball between 20 and 25 times on average. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so I like both of them. Penny's out there. For some reason, definitely
swoop him.
Go put your claim in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because hopefully
Alexander Madison. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Okay, let's get to that. So I thought
Cook left with a shoulder injury. He's done for the year. No, I don't know.
Oh my God! Now he's just gonna be back full strength in practice now. Hold on.
He's hurt. We're gonna find out. He's gonna get an MRI tomorrow.
Okay.
Probably. So
I don't like being excited about any person's injury, but for someone who's a lottery ticket truther, and in this case, the lottery ticket to have is guys like Tony Pollard, guys like Raekwon Armstead. But ahead of them, I had Alexander Madison, because talent-wise, if all 3 of those guys, if Zeke, Fournette, and Cook were out, and you had to choose between all 3 and you can only have one, I'm getting Alexander Madison. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe over Tony Pollard for sure?
Yeah, come on. What has Zeke even been doing, really?
I don't know. But Tony Pollard he would do good.
Yeah,
Zeke,
but not talent-wise.
Zeke got his money. Zeke got his money. We might have seen the best.
Yeah, it's true.
The young, hungry, you know what I mean? The young, hungry guys. You know what I mean? You never know. But I like what you're saying. I love Madison too. I think I would make that choice too. That's a tough one.
Madison is the number 1 pickup. If you have any kind of fab, I'm willing to blow all my fab. Even if the news isn't out yet, just because if he was out this game and the way his arm was gimpy and it's a shoulder injury, at least it's a stinger.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out.
But I'm saying a stinger will keep you out a week or 2. You know what I mean? Like, you know who's a tough son of a bitch that earned my respect is Josh Jacobs, because he played through his stinger. We have someone like Jordan Howard who has a stinger. He's been out for the last 2 weeks, isn't even cleared for contact. You had James Conner who's being held out with a stinger all year, dealing with it, and then re-aggravated it. So it's like, this is a team with playoff aspirations. The Vikings. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that's one to monitor for sure. So you'll probably hear something by tomorrow on that.
Is there anything as of now, before we close this thing out?
Let me see here. I didn't see anything. Let me get the last note was.
Is there any kind of update we can leave the playmakers with? Because this is their waiver show. You know what I mean?
On Dalvin Cook, let me see. Let me pull him up real quick here. Dalvin Cook, the note on him is leaves a shoulder injury. It's awkward leave of no, not really.
Nothing.
So yeah, you're gonna have to wait on that till tomorrow when this comes out. So
playmakers, we closed up week 13. It's the end of the regular fantasy season. You know what I mean? For everybody that's been rocking with us and that's still rocking with us, we're gonna try to help assist y'all and through this playoff run, we're gonna try to get you to this chip, but with the best of our power. You know what I'm saying? And by the grace of the fantasy gods, may they shine light upon a path to victory for all the playmakers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good luck to everybody out there. You know what I mean? If you're in the playoffs, go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got to buy, enjoy your, kick your feet up, enjoy it. It's time.
This week, we're going to be trying some new things. It's going to be the regular scheduled episodes, but, it's going to be all geared around, specific matchups in this playoffs. We're also going to be always looking forward, because if you're not looking forward, you don't envision yourself in it. I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Well, follow us at the GMM Network. Follow me at Bogart Scott Free World. Follow my esteemed colleague, The Goo, at The Guru 408.
Yes, sir.
Blah, blah, Jamaicans.
All right. Good rap, my brother.
Good
I'm
rap, my
about
brother.
to run back into the crib. I got my wife calling me shit while I was out here.
For sure.
All right, good rap, brother. I'll holler at you tomorrow.